Hello, people. How are you doing today? Happy New Year. Happy 2024. Hope you guys are all doing well. In case you're unfamiliar with me, my name is Mikeda Valletta, also known as The Body Scientist. And I'm live on my IG page, The Body Scientist. I will save it and repost it to my YouTube. Just to give you a background about me, I have a background in exercise and sports science and nutrition science, and I'm currently working on a Master of Science in Medical Cannabis Science. And I've committed myself to all the ways we could take our body to its highest level, okay? And so I'm just all about, high level performance of the body, no matter what age you are, whether from kids to the elderly, okay? And so I just wanted to do a quick video right now, a little case study video, because I've done several videos about cannabis science. I've done several videos about cannabis science, but I wanted to share a little case study story. So, my mother, and I wanted to do some this whole holiday season, I've been like cooking and just busy, and I wanted to share a lot of my cooking videos, to show you the kind of ingredients that I use, because, people will say that soul food is unhealthy and stuff like that, but it really has to do with the ingredients you use, the fats and stuff like that. But anyhow, my mom, yesterday she had terrible pain in her eye. Right, so one of her eyes was like red, and it hurt when she moved her eye at all. So if she looked anywhere, it was really painful, and she was suffering. It hurt. She put her head down. She was in pain. Everything, the light being on was hurting her. And so what I did, because again, I think cannabis has applications for almost everything, and I like to use things synergistically, right? And my mom did have cataract surgery. She was diagnosed with glaucoma years ago, and then they gave her cataract surgery and said that if she didn't have the cataract surgery, she would have had glaucoma. So I don't know what's wrong with her eye, because she's at the doctor now. But I just want to tell you what I did to help her. Thank you for the compliments. I appreciate it. So my mother was miserable yesterday, in so much pain. Just imagine your eye hurting. Like you can't, just looking left and right and up and down or putting your head down was painful. So I had a CBD tincture, right? So in the cannabis world, a lot of people call tinctures, to me, are herbs that are infused into alcohol. Like alcohol is used, right? Hey, hat. Alcohol is used for a tincture. And the cannabis oil, which is in coconut oil, is different. But a lot of times in the cannabis world, they'll call cannabis-infused coconut oil a tincture. But when I'm saying tincture, I'm talking about something that is made in alcohol, okay? And usually the tincture, I'm working on my master's in medical cannabis science. My first teacher, who taught me a lot, and I need to call him, he's like my number one mentor, who's taught me a lot about cannabis medicine applications. He told me that, putting the tincture under the tongue with the alcohol-based tincture, it works really quick, and that's what you're supposed to do. Like, you can put it in a drink, but he said it's more potent when you put it under your tongue. However, it burns a lot when you do that. And see, I have some questions about the science behind it now that I've, done almost 2 years in this master's program, and I have studied a lot of the biochemistry and metabolism. So I do have some questions, but I'm just going to say that when you put tincture under your tongue, it's not metabolized by first pass metabolism. So first pass, when you consume like THC edibles, the reason why you get so strong is because when you're smoking cannabis, it's delta 9 THC. When you ingest it, it's metabolized by the liver into 11-hydroxy THC, which is a different drug, and it's very powerful, and it lasts a lot longer. So to me, sometimes that's what people need, right? So anyhow, I didn't know what was going on with my mother's eye, but I gave her a CBD tincture, right? And I put it in. I made her some green tea with echinacea. Okay, so green tea and echinacea is a great combination. Like anytime, I don't get sick often. Like I did get COVID in 2021. No, I got COVID in 2022. Yeah, not even 2021. I got COVID in 2022. But other than that, I haven't had a cold or a flu in 20 years. Okay, so I don't get sick. Every winter, people are getting colds and flus. That doesn't happen to me. But anytime, and my mother knows this, you feel like you're getting a little sick, I always recommend taking green tea and echinacea. Like, they work complementary. They work great together. And I feel like they're better together than they are apart. So, and it really helps to support your immune system, right? Which, if you're dealing with some type of infection or irritation, your immune system plays a role. So I made green tea and echinacea tea, and I put CBD alcohol-based tincture in the tea. I didn't tell her to put it under her tongue because a lot of times it burns and it's miserable to people. So she drank that, and she was feeling, she was feeling better. Her eye was still hurting, but maybe, I don't know, maybe she was like 30% better, okay? So then, cataracts is caused by artificial light at night, lack of sun exposure, sunrise. So she was feeling better. But then last night when she was going to sleep, I made her another tea, okay? Echinacea and green tea. Put the CBD tincture in it. I put more than I had put in earlier. And then I made her another tea because, excuse me, I have a cannabis-infused coconut oil, which is high in THC. And also terpenes that are very anti-inflammatory. So I took the cannabis-infused coconut oil. I made her a tea, a little bit, because I don't want to give her too many liquids to drink. But I made tea with raw milk and ginger. Like, I make this, it was like a ginger chai. Ginger and turmeric and raw milk. I warmed it up, put some warm cannabis oil in it, okay, and had her get up and sip that. And I combined the THC and the CBD because some people who can be very sensitive to THC, especially when you're older. And so if you give them, like, because we have a family friend, a neighbor who lives downstairs, and she's using cannabis for her. She had like a hip replacement and she has arthritis, and she ingests gummies, which, I'm not a fan of the gummies for medicine because, like, no matter what's going on with your health, you don't need to be eating candy. Like, that's not helpful. So I like combining it with foods that are also going to support bringing down inflammation and helping you heal. And candy is not it, right? But I know someone who takes I know someone who takes cannabis gummies for THC for her arthritis, and she said it works, but it's just that she does get high from it, and some people might not mind that, but some people can be very sensitive, especially when people are older. So if somebody is sensitive to THC, they're THC naive, or they're just sensitive, or they might need a large dose of THC, which could, make them too high. Anybody who's had edibles knows if you eat too much of it, how you feel. So the way to counteract that is by combining the THC with CBD. Now, I have a video on Instagram where I'm talking about the difference between CBD and THC, so you can watch that and learn a lot about that. But CBD and THC have, you said, does edibles heal arthritis? I don't know about heal it, but it alleviates a lot of the pain. And like, I sent some cannabis oil to my aunt to use topically for her arthritis, because some people don't want to ingest it. But this woman I know ingests it, right? But with my mother's eye, I wanted to actually create what is it? Sorry, somebody called me. Hopefully it's okay. Okay, so with my mother's eye, my phone is about to die. I wanted to create I can't think of the word. I can't think of the word, but basically get like some gauze and like saturate it in tincture or oil, either one, and put it on her eye. I wanted to put it on her eye while she slept. But I also thought about castor oil because castor oil is supposed to be really good for the eyes. So I was thinking about those things, But I'm very cautious about what I give people, and so I said, okay, I wanted to do that, but I didn't do that. I just gave her the tea with the CBD tincture that had echinacea green tea, and then and it was like a big cup. Then I made a smaller cup of raw milk, ginger, and turmeric, warmed it up, put just a few drops of the cannabis oil. I probably put like 5 drops of it. Okay, whereas with the CBD, I filled up the I don't have the thing with me, but I filled up the sucker thing. You know what I'm talking about. I filled it up 3 times. So, oh yeah, salve. Yes, that's what I wanted to. Is it a salve? Yeah, I guess so. I can't. My brain's not working properly. Sorry, but yeah, basically something for her to put on, right? But I didn't do that. Instead, I just gave her the THC and the CBD, right? She goes to sleep, and it's a good time when you go to sleep to take it, because also sleep is extremely healing. And I really want, the dropper, yeah. You said they weren't playing when they said THC and CBD. No, they weren't playing. That's why there's a lot of degree programs, and Michigan, I think, is one of the states that has the most undergraduate degrees. There's a lot of undergraduate degrees now in cannabis biochemistry and biology, and there's a lot of undergrad degrees. And the master's program I'm at University of Maryland, there's also a master's program at Morehouse School of Medicine in cannabis medicine and biotechnology. There's one at the University of Colorado School of Pharmacy. There's a few, okay? So, no, they weren't joking. So, oh, wait. And, oops. Sorry, I dropped my phone. Sorry about that. So, this is a good book, too. There's several good books, but this is one good one written by a pharmacist, Cannabis Prescription, written by Colleen Higgins, for people who want to substitute cannabis, get rid of their pharmaceuticals and use cannabis instead. This is a very good book, very, very good book. And there are some others. I will post them on my Instagram. So if you're on YouTube, follow me on Instagram. But, so she went to sleep. So yeah, because sleep is extremely healing. So I really wanted her to rest yesterday. And when your eye hurts, it's like, okay, you're laying in bed. If you're not tired, watching TV hurt our eyes. You can't read. What are you going to do? Like, you need your eyes to look. So you're just going to lay in bed and you're not tired. So I waited till she was, going to sleep. And that's when I gave it to her, because sleep is also, I feel like sleep is a powerful healer too. Okay. So the combination of all those things, I'm telling you that because I'm just telling you the combination of all those things. Like, the way I use cannabis medicine is not in isolation. I'm not just going to be like, oh, just take this tincture and that's it. No, I'm combining it with other healing modalities that work synergistically together, right? Become more powerful together. So my mom goes to sleep. This morning, I see her like at 6 a.m. I'm like, how are you feeling? She was like, great. Okay, and she had all this energy. And she's like, I have no more pain in my eyes anymore. I can move them. It doesn't hurt when I put my head down. She was just like, had all this energy. And I'm just like, wow. Because she was miserable yesterday. Like, her eye was in so much pain. And she said if she looked anywhere, just moving her eye was extremely painful. So now she's at the doctor, just seeing what's going on, but her pain is completely gone. And she's able to function. It doesn't hurt when she puts her head down anymore. And I will keep treating her with it. My dad, I told this story before, last time I was in New York, my dad had, really bad back pain. I saw him walking around with a cane. My dad doesn't use a cane. My dad's 81, but he doesn't use a cane. So I'm like, what are you doing? And this is the thing with me with my parents. I monitor them. I'm giving them exercises, I make sure they're good and healthy. Okay, my parents, there's no Alzheimer's, there's no dementia. I'm trying to, they're functional and good. They live in New York City, which I think is a great city for people who are aging, because it forces you to walk. Most people in America don't walk anywhere, and they're going to drive through pharmacy, drive through Starbucks, drive through fast food, drive through everything. New York, we don't even be having drive-thrus like that. And even if you have a car in New York, people say that New Yorkers don't have cars. A lot of New Yorkers have cars. But even if you have a car, we still walk a lot still, okay? We still have to walk. And that's really important as you age, because when they say if you don't use it, you lose it, right? And so both my parents are, and I live in Chicago, but they live in an area where it's hilly, so if they want to go to the store, they're going to walk up a hill. Walking on flat land is nothing. Can you walk up hills, okay? We're in Sugar Hill. It's hilly up here. So those things are really good as you're aging. But, yesterday, somebody asked my mom, oh, are you going to put antibiotics in your eyes? And it's like, I'm not with the antibiotics. I'm not with the pharmaceuticals. Oh, the thing I was going to say was that my dad, when I was here last time, he's walking with a cane, and he said his back hurt. And I took some cannabis oil and put some in his coffee. Now, my dad smokes weed all the time. And so do his friends who are all in their 80s. They're all mentally sharp. Okay? I think my dad is the same age, as Joe Biden. And so people keep talking about how old Joe Biden is and how he's just too old. And he's Joe Biden is, I don't think, but I'm just saying it doesn't mean that because you're that age that you have to be deteriorating that way. Because my parents aren't like that. My dad's brain is not like that. He can give you a 3-hour lecture on some deep-ass history shit right now, okay? So, my dad smokes, but he was totally against ingesting cannabis because he had a bad experience in the past, and he was like, I'm not with the edibles. So he was afraid to drink the coffee that I gave him. I mean, the coffee that I put the oil in. He was afraid of it. But it took him all day to drink it. When he did, he took some sips of it that night. He let it sit all day. That night, he didn't even drink the whole thing. He just took a few sips. The next morning, I see my dad, and he's like walking fine. And I'm like, how's your back? And he's like, I feel like a brand new person. And he did like a karate kick, okay? 81 years old. He does a karate kick. Back was fine. He never needed to use it again, okay? Just that one time. And that was good. He was good. His back was fine. So I have numerous stories of applications of how it has helped people. Right now, I was suffering from a headache. I nursed my mom yesterday, but then I had to nurse myself today because I had a terrible headache, which I cannot stand. And it was because, my hair, I took my hair out. My hair was up in a bun, and it was too tight and heavy. I can't deal with my hair being up. That's why I have my hair down a lot, because when I put it up, it starts to make my head hurt. So I had my hair up in a bun for the past few days, and I was just like, oh my God, my head. So I had to take it out. And then I was cooking all day yesterday, all this food, and cooking so much that when I cook a lot, I cook 90% of Christmas dinner. I cook 90% of New Year's. Me and my mom did it, but I did most of it because she's just tired and, older, and, she helped. Can't do without her, but I held it down. But when I cook like that, it takes my appetite away. So I could be cooking for hours and cook all this good food, and everybody's like, oh my God, it's amazing. Everybody loves my food. And I can't eat it until tomorrow because I'm just so beat. So that happened to me yesterday. I cooked all this food. I couldn't eat the food. Everybody loved the food. Everybody. So I didn't really eat. I went to the gym and did an intense leg workout. So when you work your legs, when you work out, you lift weights, period, you need to eat. But especially when you work your legs, it takes a lot out of you. So the combination of me doing that workout, not really eating, cooking all day, which, not all day, but for 2.5 hours, I was cooking several different things at once, which requires concentration and brain energy and all these things. And then my hair being up, all of that, I had a headache, and I was just done for. So this morning I woke up and I did not feel good, okay? My head was hurting, I just didn't feel well. So I made myself some of the tea with the warm milk and ginger turmeric chai and put cannabis oil in it, and I'm feeling way better. And of course I took my hair down. I'm feeling way better, but I'm just anti-pharmaceutical person, okay? And another thing with my mom's eye, because one of the things that I spent time studying this past semester was how THC helps with glaucoma. Because glaucoma, and I don't know what's wrong with my mom was diagnosing herself and saying she had pink eye, but I don't know if she had pink eye, and that's why she's at the doctor now to see what exactly was the issue. But I knew that the cannabinoids, they're very potent anti-inflammatories. They help support your immune system. CBD really helps support your immune system, which are all the things you need. Bring down inflammation, effective at pain relief, effective at supporting your immune system so your body can do what it has to do and bringing it back into balance. And then I don't know if it was glaucoma related, then THC is extremely effective at bringing down the ocular pressure, because that's what glaucoma is. It's like, without getting too scientific, it's like pressure that's building up in the eye. It can cause blindness and all kinds of things. THC is extremely effective at that. So I didn't make the I want to say, well, I keep thinking Sopsis, but I don't think that's the right word. But somebody said salve, but I think of salve as like a cream that you rub on. But I wanted to make like can't think of the word, but like some gauze, and I wanted to saturate it in tincture or oil and put it in her eye. I wanted to do that because I felt like go right to the source too. But I didn't do that. Just her ingesting it and going to sleep and waking up, she was so much better. Now, the reason why I put the alcohol-based tincture in the water-based tea, which was echinacea and green tea, was because they go. And cannabinoids are fat-soluble, and so consuming them with fats helps you to absorb even more. Even though when people have like gummies and stuff, they're using other chemicals and emulsifiers to make it work, but cannabinoids are fat-loving, okay? That's why people put it in coconut oil and butter, okay? So that's why I put the cannabis-infused coconut oil. I put that in the milk-based tea, okay? The raw milk, which is also very medicinal. So that's why I did that way. And I didn't put the oil, I wouldn't put the cannabis oil inside of a water-based tea. I put it in a fat-based tea, fat-based drink. And when it's warm, I feel like you absorb it even better than if it's just like cold, you know, like you warm it up, have something warm. So I just wanted to share that because I was extremely happy that my mother, you know, nobody wants to see people that they love suffering, and, you know, your eye is tough. And so when I saw how that worked for her, and I'm glad that I happened to be in town so I could administer it to her and observe her, make sure she's good. And I leave the tinctures and oils at my parents' house because it can be used for so many things. If you burn yourself, you bang yourself, you got some bite that itches, a rash, you got, you know, the cannabis-infused coconut oil is extremely anti-inflammatory. It can be used sexually. It can be used on your scalp to help, hold on, I have to sneeze. Excuse me. Sorry. It can be used on your scalp to help prevent alopecia. So people who have alopecia, there's lots of research that helps with that. So to me, it's cannabis oil should be a part of your arsenal. I have a cousin that was dealing with shingles. Was it shingles? I think it was shingles. She was miserable. Okay, the way she described the pain that she was in, it almost sounded like she was about to kill herself. Okay, like really, it had the whole family worried because everything hurt her. She said even the clothes on her, just brushing her skin, was excruciatingly painful. And I sent my cousin some of the cannabis oil to use topically and to ingest because it's very, any kind of nerve pain in general, but it's very effective when it comes to nerve pain. And also with cannabis medicine, like a lot of times you can layer and stack things, right? So I didn't put it on her eye, but if I had, that would have been like, okay, you're ingesting it and you're putting it on your eye, you know? So that can be effective, like layering things, okay? Like let's say somebody had some type of infection somewhere. They could put it on the infection and ingest it. Or they could do one or the other and it might, you know, still be fine. So there's a lot of things to consider. Yeah. And so I really just wanted to share that. You say you didn't know Bud did all that? Yeah, it does. Especially when, you know, you're ingesting it or using it topically. There's many applications. I know for me, like I'm a weed smoker, but when I have a headache, I do not want to smoke anything. Like I do not want to smoke weed when my head hurts. Like that's the last thing. And let me say that I think because I wanted to do a video about this on my other page. I was going to do it in Makeda Bletta Travels, but I'll just briefly talk about it here. For those of you who know, you know, okay, New York has legal cannabis, recreationally and medical. And I've been in a lot of states that do. The thing with New York, okay, the thing with New York is that we have so many smoke shops, okay, and most of them all sell weed. The governor and the mayor said that if they catch people selling that, they're going to give the store owners a $10,000 fine. But people in New York they're not even trying to hide it. First, I discovered when I was out in Queens, New York, in South Ozone, Queens, like there was a main street and there was 2 stores just a couple steps away from each other, okay? 2 stores, all they did was sell weed, and they had it, all kinds of shit, like up in the glass. They weren't trying to hide it at all. And some of the weed that they had was from California, and it was legal weed from California, which I have no idea how they got that, because anybody who understands the legal weed market, everything is tracked from seed to sale. You'll hear this, from seed to sale. From the time they plant that seed in the dirt, they track that freaking plant. Every freaking leaf of it, they track it. So I don't know how all that legal weed got over here, like in New York, okay, in these stores. But the thing with legal weed, why I prefer it, is because it's tested, okay? They test it for a lot of stuff. Just like with food, they can use a lot of chemical crap on cannabis plants. So the other day, like I like to go to the dispensary to get my weed because I know it's tested and it's safe, and I don't trust. I did a video before about cannabis edibles, I did a video before about talking about this, why, I get it from the dispensaries and not street weed anymore. I mean, back in the day, yeah, but now there's a lot going on in the black market, especially out of California, with cartels and stuff that are poisoning the weed and poisoning land, and you definitely should not be consuming that. But I was busy the other day. I didn't have time to go to a dispensary because there's not a whole lot of dispensaries in New York. Most of them are in Manhattan. There might be like 1 in the Bronx and like 1 or 2 in Queens, maybe just 1 in Brooklyn. But most of the dispensaries are in Manhattan, and they're mostly downtown. So I didn't feel like doing all that, and I could just go around the corner in my neighborhood. And I live in Dominican land. Literally, if you look on the map, it says Little Dominican Republic, okay, on the map. It's Washington Heights, the next neighborhood north of Harlem. Okay, I'm like on the border of Harlem and the Heights. And it says Little Dominican Republic. Dominicans always had good weed in New York. Like all the best weed in New York has always been uptown. You hear Biggie says, Biggie's talking about Dykeman. Dykeman, that's the next, you Washington Heights and you got Dykeman. Dominicans, they have the best weed. So they always had tons of it. The best weed in New York was always uptown. If you watch Fab Five Freddy's documentary, Grass is Greener, which I highly recommend. That's an excellent documentary on Netflix, Grass is Greener. You've never seen anything like it, just trust me, you should watch it. But he talks about that, how everybody was coming to Harlem for that, coming uptown. So I'm like, it's everywhere around me. So I'm like, okay, I won't die if I smoke some regular weed, I don't feel like going downtown. So I go in the store by me, and they had several options. They had the legal weed from California, but it was more expensive. Around me, a lot of places in New York, you could buy eighths now for $20, $25, right? Not the dispensaries unless it's on sale, but like these smoke shops. So I said, okay, so I go around the corner and I get, and they have the strains listed, and I'm very picky about my strains now. And as soon as I open up the bag, first of all, I'm like, I don't even know for sure if what was given to me was the strains that I asked for, because it didn't say it on the label. It said something else. It was just, I don't know. But as soon as I opened the bag, like, I'm very sensitive to artificial chemicals. And I feel like I smelled like, it was like, I'm sensitive to cologne, like any kind of artificial chemicals. I can't stand it. So when I opened it up, I felt like I could sense that, okay, because I'm sensitive to it. And I smoked it, and it's like, my throat was bothering me. I feel like it kind of also contributed to giving me a headache. And I'm like, I spent money on this, but I think this weed is not good. Because my throat never hurts from smoking. Not hurts, but it was just like irritated. That never happens. And I feel like it was the chemicals, okay? It's just like with food. I don't eat fast food. I haven't eaten McDonald's since the 90s, okay? I haven't eaten Burger King since I was in college. Like, I don't eat the Waffle House or Denny's or IHOP. I would never eat that. I don't give a fuck how hungry I am. I would never eat that, okay? That would make me sick. I would have diarrhea and be vomiting, okay? So I don't crave that. I don't want that. My system can't handle that crap. So when you eat better quality food, the crappy stuff, you feel it, you taste it. You taste it and you feel it. And so I feel like that's the same thing with like weed now. Like I've been Like in Chicago, there's a dispensary a few blocks from me that I mainly go to. But there's a lot of, thing about Chicago, there's a lot of dispensaries. But I don't think there's a lot on the south side. Like I'm on the north side. I think there's a lot more on the north side. It's like, it's so crazy with this weed game, because it's like they know that blacks and Hispanics, blacks and Mexicans and Dominicans, have been the leaders with that. The ones who know the most, the ones who had the good shit for years, and the ones who went to jail the most. And they keep talking about social equity, but yet in a city like New York, in a city like Chicago, it's like the dispensaries are just kind of concentrated in one area. I do think that Chicago has done a better job than New York. There's a lot of dispensaries in Chicago. New York, it's like they're trying to like purposely like sabotage the people who are in the legal market, and this makes no sense. Like the governor and the mayor keep saying, don't go to this, they're trying to discourage people from going to smoke shops and saying go to the dispensary, but it's like we don't have no damn dispensaries. People are trying to open them up, they keep blocking them, and they have this problem and that problem. People aren't going to go from Brooklyn all the way to Manhattan to get some weed. You know what I'm saying? Especially in New York, where there's smoke shops everywhere and everybody's selling it. So, and people already been getting weed from the weed man. A lot of people are going to do that. However, when you get into, for me it's a quality thing, but when you get into the medicinal side, where you get stuff and what you are consuming matters. Okay, so I'm just going to say that. But I think I said enough in this video. You can definitely check out my other videos in cannabis. If you yourself are interested in using it medicinally for some type of issue, you can definitely contact me. Do coaching sessions and evaluations of people. For me, if somebody has a health issue, it works hand in hand with what you're eating and what you're doing. Like they all work complementary. So I'm always around for that. You can always contact me if you want to discuss it. And I'm about to go on about my day. Eat some of the good food I cooked yesterday so I can be A1. Yeah, and I think I've said enough. So, if you like this video, like it, share it, subscribe, follow me on YouTube, follow me on Instagram, follow me everywhere. Okay? I hope you guys have a good day. Talk to you later. Bye.